Well, hello again. So I just filmed some and I don't know if it'll actually get uploaded because the sound wasn't working. So no idea if I can voice over it or something. It was only like a minute or so. But what I was just showing was we're just above my house, just below the rocks right now. Listen to it kicking off in the background. Like as though I live in the inner city or something. Anyhow, let's see what that vehicle is. There you go. There's some foundations where you can see the glimmering beneath the green there. I'm not sure how well it's picking up, but you can see the fence around it too. That's the building site, which I was just filming because I was taking out zoom. And I'll film as I go up this really steep hill. It's like, as I said in the first bit, which probably won't get uploaded now, unless, well, we'll see. This is my first walk since everything happened in the summer. So I'm without Ben because I don't have Ben in my life anymore. No contact with family means no contact with little Ben. So yeah, that's why I haven't been on a walk for ages. And I've been operated on, you know, there has been good medical reasons too. Anyhow, what I was just thinking was, it's actually on one hand kind of odd because before when I used to walk up here, except for the occasional random child, nobody else ever walked up here. It was like completely, the matrix grid always shows up really well here, or it does usually. I can't imagine why. Could it be because we're right beneath the rocks? I'm not actually trying to catch it, I'm just doing my boots up. So yeah, I don't know if I was just like really hard before or just really stupid, because I don't know. We'll see, depends on the rest of this journey. But the first part of the way up here, just before, I felt like I was on a death mission. But now I'm looking like where all the kids come. Clearly, I must have started a trend off when I used to come up here all the time before, because it was never like this. I'm certainly not complaining though. I cannot imagine how hard it would be to walk up here right now if it wasn't like this, which is a little bit better than the alternative. Actually halfway up. Well, we're not. We're more than halfway up. We're nearly at the top. But from where I stopped, we're about halfway. Now this could be dangerous, especially with only one hand on the job in hand. Oh, let's look at the view. Oh, it's the sunshine. I filmed the cutest dog on the way up here, a little puppy. 16 months old, I think he said it was. Anyhow, all of that footage now has no volume. Wow, that looks so green. It looks so luminous. That's wild, isn't it? It doesn't really, just is on camera. Right, okay, we're going to get to the top. You can see the rocks actually through here. Let's just zoom into them so you can see how close I am really. Well, behind there is the rocks. I can't hold it still because, hang on a moment, I'm so fit that I'm actually out of breath. I mean, I can laugh about it because I've just worked for my whole for all my life I've been like mega fit physically, and so that's why, let's get the light better, she says, and then puts the camera in front of her. That's why I can laugh about it now, because it's just like so alien to me to be physically fit, to not be physically fit I mean. And so what for some people might be like, oh, I'm so unfit, to me it's just like an irony. I mean, bear in mind I have just been operated on as well. Well, in August I was. So, could do without the camera on me while I'm going up here, and my knee just went like jelly on my right hand side. It isn't even the right side to do it. I can laugh at myself when I watch this footage back. Ah! Oh, and then he went flying then as well. Holding onto grass over a tree branch isn't like the best option. Yay, we did it! Hang on. There we go, we did it. Yay! It is strange about Little Ben here. What on earth am I meant to film apart from the view? I suppose the one good thing is, with Little Benno is under pressure to keep moving the whole time. That is so bright and I'm not even looking at it myself. And it's shining into my eyes all the same. Yeah, when Little Ben was here, I'd have to like not stand for too long in the same spot because he'd get bored, understandably. There was a dog on his walk and the attention was meant to be on him. That was his special time. And so I was a little bit naughty filming so much. So from the point of view that I could stand here for an hour looking at the matrix grid through here, the reality is I won't do that. I think it could be a little bit boring for watchers. Unless I had one of those special like cameras which speeds it. Well, I mean camera now over a video camera. I'm whittering, I'm going to shush. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Look at the sky. There is a few clouds, but, well, chem clouds, but it's not as bad as it is sometimes. I love skies like this. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know whether to go down towards the graveyard or to come up here, but in the end, for reasons, oh my god. She says dropping the camera almost. Right, I don't know which way to go up actually. I was going to go up that way, but I think... No, we'll go this way. Purely because, although I will film these rocks again on the way back. No! Sorry. I'll go up this way now. Which way to go though? There's the easy way or the hard way. Just give me half an hour to decide. Well, the thing is, if you go the really steep way, it goes straight to where it says Lost Souls. And I find that quite desperate. I'll show you. And that's why I'm not going to go that way. Because I think it's a bit of a no-brainer to not walk straight towards the sign saying Lost Souls. Which, interestingly, of course, is right by the initiation rite from the Druids. So... Now, I just want to zoom out because I had an interesting thought too. If we're going to look at this in terms of reversals and everything being, usually, not everything, but a lot of things in like really overt mind control being a reversal, then you could look at that sign saying Lost Souls and think, maybe that's where I should be. Unfortunately, when it comes to them having to reveal the real truth, even in unbelievable ways sometimes, things just as simple as what looks like a teenager's graffiti there saying Lost Souls is actually shouting the truth out to people, because doing rituals really isn't the way to Christ, and it really isn't the way to truth. You don't need to do rituals to be good and pure and on point and in touch and healing, you know. So I'm too warm with this jacket on. So anyhow, when we look above my house, that you can't see the rocks, but you can see the thingamajiggy behind it. And I want to take a closer look at that this evening. I'm also loving the way it looks so red where the sun's setting on here. So let's have a look at the sun again. Wow, it's very reminiscent of last time I was up here, except in December time. I think it was, when there was a similar sky. I don't know, it's all very hazy, to be honest, if I was going to try and differentiate between September and December of last year. Because when the second the car wreck happened, everything changed. Again. Right, so we'll have a quick peek at these whilst they're looking so red. I really mean whilst the light's so good, but hey ho. Silver birch in front of me here. They all are, to be honest, these big ones. Well, not all of them, that's a sycamore there, but the rest are... Oh, you can't see the same view that I can see. I wanted to point out the crane. Maybe you can just, if I zoom in. I'll come back to the rays of light in a second. Now where is it? There it is. So that crane there, look at the buildings which show. Only modern ones are standing out. That's interesting. It's swamped by modern buildings in that row there. There is old buildings there too, but you'd never know it looking down. Sorry. Right, okay, we'll have a look here. And what I wanted to look at, but I think the light's going to change now we've got here, of course. Well, it's just stuff like this. Look at it. Perfect pyramid, isn't it? It's even got the capstone at the top when you're looking at it. But it also looks really demonic. Like, I don't think that's human at all. I mean, I don't think that that is just rock. I think these are demonic. I think it's like actually really not the best idea to be here. But then you know what? You remember that the blood of Christ swamps all demons, and there's nothing they can do about that. Not ultimately, when it all boils down to it. So anyhow, you see, I can see more than just the cross there, but what? I don't want to say too much out loud, so I'm just going to actually film, purely because, well, for reasons which I'll go into a bit further down the road. Okay, so here is the initiation tunnel, the Druid initiation tunnel. 12:22 we got here at, so it's an interesting time. And of course the sun's setting. Oh yeah, you can see the crane properly now, I'll just show you. Here it is. That's what I wake up to every morning, but at a different angle. And then I thought to myself, why do they have to have it there? Because you can drive straight into the building site. However, having just seen how huge the building site actually is, I can now fully understand why they want a crane to move stuff around to the back rather than driving trucks down there. Anyhow, interesting how as the sun sets at this time of year, it's literally going straight into here. And now it's hidden beneath the clouds. So anyway, we want to keep marching because two reasons why. One being, I'm on 50-minute uploads for a very long time on my primary channel, and nobody watches my second channel because everybody knows me via my first channel. I've never used my second channel to upload. So for that reason, I need to try and keep this, if not really brief, then very editable. And I don't normally edit anything that I do because I think it's quite, not false, well yeah, quite false and pre-planned. I don't know, I suppose it's maybe quite good to offer an edited version of your work and a full version. But at the end of the day, we're making these videos, we're not getting paid for it or anything. So there's only so much time that anyone can really spend on a video, and it does take a long time to edit stuff down properly. So that's why I probably really don't bother doing it very often. Well, I've never done it. But I'm thinking, realistically, maybe I should be doing it now, and that's maybe the only way I can get stuff like this on film and on my channel, and then just put the long version onto my second channel. That's probably a really good idea. Although maybe not with this video, because maybe I look so unfit and sound so unfit that it's like, oh my god, what happened to you, Nina? Alright, so I want to keep marching purely because I'm specifically going to look somewhere which I've never looked before up here. It's where the waterboard is that we want to look. And we must make sure we don't get distracted on the way. I'm saying that to me, obviously, not to anyone watching. I really want to take my jacket off, but I'm thinking to myself, don't take your jacket off, Nina, because you're on the flat now, you're in a hurry, and light's falling fast. So I'm actually really surprised there's nobody else. Oh, trippy as I just saw red lights everywhere. Well, I'm going to film it now. All the log here. And it's not the sun before you say, is it just the sun? Yeah, oh, it's a crow. Right, we need to keep walking. I feel like as though I'm going to get distracted on the way down here because I so want to film so much in daylight. What we're going to go and see. I'll explain why when we get there. There might be nothing to see though, I don't know. Never tried. Because I didn't know it was even here before. There's going to be loads of people about and I'm not going to want to film because it's been so long since I last filmed. And then it feels so personal up here today for so many reasons, but specifically because of Ben not being here. And then secondly because of what I'm trying to go and find, which I never knew was here. But we're going to look and see. So actually, for the interest of privacy, which I've never actually used the rights for before, I'm not going to film the exact way there, so you'll have to see my ugly mug for the next couple of minutes. But I'm going to cut through the woods and stuff. Oh, that's all right. Getting barked at. Oh. That's interesting, bearing in mind what I'm trying to do. I'm really not interested in other people's dogs, but you see the kind it was. And it just randomly came running at me, bearing in mind what I'm trying to do right now, which I haven't yet said on camera. So I found out that the people that I worked for thought I'll just say it on camera before someone tries to stop me. Or before I drop dead and no one finds out what I was trying to do, and it's just like a really bad Blair Witch thing. Oh, crikey. Almost out now anyhow, look. Oh, I can hear noises. I can't believe that I didn't know this until only a couple of weeks ago. Oh, I can't get through the thistles without getting really hurt. I've been climbing through them all the way here. Can't believe it. You probably can't believe it. I don't know if you can tell. But now they're really tall. I have to get through that. There's no going back. I don't want to lose any more hair though. Oh, I'm on nettles as well. Ow! Oh, it is. It's pulling. They've actually got me locked in. Ow! I just had to rip my hair, but thankfully it went from the bottom. Oh my god! And then I was standing all in nettles then, so I was getting stung the whole time I was filming. I'm not going to be able to get there. It's too secure. This is what I wanted to see. And there's nothing to see because they've made it all into hang on a second. I have been here once before, I remember now, but I didn't know what I was looking at. Right, okay, hang on a second, I'm going to zoom in for you. Right, so the moors behind is where I spent my whole adult life ever riding out. And these here, all of this ground here, was where my ex-boss had their first ever yard. And I never knew. And it's literally, a mile up the hill to where I live. Maybe a mile and a half, it depends which way you drive. I mean, hang on a minute, let me just come out of zoom. It's kind of pointless being in zoom because there's nothing much to see. I'm not quite sure what they're using it for. But I'm like, oh my god. I knew that it was there's a lot going on where I live. Not in the stereotypical sense, but just in the general sense, esoterically, I mean. And then I find out from one of my neighbours, well, this land up here, just chatting to me. And because like, oh God. And I was like listening to her chatting and I'm like, oh my God, well, this is what I'm thinking. I've been here once before because it was winter time, probably about this time last year. I probably filmed it. I can't remember filming it though. And I got to about there, well, maybe not even that far. I think it might not have been this far in the year because actually I clearly remember there being loads of raspberries out, which is what was just trying to like stop me from getting through then. And in the end I turned back because I saw it wasn't leading anywhere. Oh, so I thought, oh no, only leading to a massive piece of history in my life, you know, for reasons which don't need to be gone into right now. I'm just looking at that building down there. I'm not just like orientating myself to the road. Oh, crikey, that was like mental. Especially because I've got it as a bit... No, I won't like... Yeah, I'm kidding. Well, I'm half kidding. It's been a really intense year. I've been like almost killed. And I've like, oh God, I don't want to sound like the big I am because I really am not. But the kind of year that has happened to me this year was designed to kill or drive me insane. I think preferably the second option because the idea of me being sat in a mental hospital with a white jacket wrapped around me, I mean, you know, my arms wrapped around me, straight jackets, they'd love me to be deemed insane because, now I should just say since there's no reason why I would be. What I'm trying to say is the things which have happened to me this year, not just this year, but specifically this year in the form that they've happened. And then mind you, I say that, and then I think that's not really true. It's been like every single year. It's just that it was by the time I was 37, I was like, well, sorry, rephrase. By the time I was 35, I was like so done with it all. But anyway, until, you know, I really do like, I don't want it on me. There's far too beautiful views around. I really do stress to people how organically and baby steps is the best way. Because part of the human condition is, I can't believe I just said that, that's so doctorish. But the way the human mind works is to really like be really over dramatic about things and run yourself away without being really sure that you're absolutely right in the absolute insanity that you realise is going on all around you. If you do it too soon, which I had done, I tried leaving it all many times, but until you really properly understand what you're trying to leave and the psychology behind it all and the spiritual warfare behind it all, and take it all on, not just one element, but all of it in tandem. Until you're ready to do that, you can't really just leave. I mean, I say that as a lady with no kids, and, well, no kids I know about, not in my life anyhow, and, oh God, I sound like I've never co-consciously had any kids, so I can't speak for anything that I don't yet remember. The light behind that tree, interesting how the light falls. Everything is. I feel like I'm up here for the first ever time because this kind of is, hang on, what's the time scenario? Alright, I've got like, not very long here, but I'll carry on filming. This is like the first ever time I've ever been here in the form that I am now, with no little dog running around by me and a mad white dog that wanted to kill me a second ago. Okay, I'll carry on filming in a sec. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? Especially walking in circles. I want to be a kid and do that thing where you're running around in circles with a hula hoop or whatever. You don't have a hula hoop in circles, do you? You have the hula hoop in circles, not yourself. I've never wanted to edit a video before, as much as I want to edit this now. I might never release it, it's just nice to have it on film for me. I mean, this is the first time ever that I've just gone out for a walk in adult life without a dog to walk. Or a horse by me. So I never needed to go out on walks before. Well, I've not got very much time left, and I've got some kind of, I had some kind of interference going on then. Yeah, this is my first ever adult walk on my lonesome with no four-legged friends, and even my first childhood walk, because apart from with Grandpa, did he count as having 4 legs? We had 4 legs between us. Actually, we did have his dog with us most of the time when I was a kid. And then by the time that I died, we had the horse. I had the horses. And so, I mean, I was 9 years old when I started working at the stables. And when you look at all the cult stuff, kids are treated as adults from a really young age. I mean the textbook cults here, not your everyday cults. I mean, I see my friends' kids at 9 years old, they're not even putting their own clothes on, like, before school and stuff. I mean, some of them, they're very babied compared to how I was. I was like a little adult, and this is not a criticism the way I was. It's not conducive or right. You should be a kid being a kid, not a kid working like a slave at stables. Now that's a bit, maybe sounds like a slight exaggeration. Which way? We'll go this way, seeing as the light's failing. This is actually the walk I went on in reverse, because I'm not doing this way around. But the reason why I was like just straying that way slightly is because of the buildings just beneath here. Well, actually, bearing in mind what I just tried to show you, I will build these buildings now, because there's now a little bit of controversy in the air about these buildings. I'm not quite sure. I may as well say it before we get to them. I'm not quite sure if these buildings now would have belonged to the church, which I thought they belonged to originally, or if they would have belonged to the stables that have been knocked down behind there. The stables might not have been situated right there, because all of these new houses here would have been on the land where the stables were, which I was just looking for, you see. Because I thought there might be something left of them, which it looks like the stone left from them they've actually used on the waterboard thing, because that was old stone, unless the waterboard building's really, really old. So the last time I filmed up here was for the Moonlight Matrix thing, and it would have been about this kind of time when I came up here. Maybe a tad later, because it was definitely later in the year. I'm sure it was more like, oh no, it was just later at night, but it was spring, summertime-ish. Or early summertime, I should say. Now, where are these buildings? Here they are. I'm not quite sure whether to delete the first footage now, to be honest, because, well, I'd have to voice over it. That would be odd. But I suppose I could do. I do know how to, because of the orb video thing. It's just a pain, because it means I'd have to edit it all properly. Which, I've got no problem in doing that. It's just, I mean, from the point of view, I can't just do it straight into YouTube, not to voice over. I don't know why they don't let you voice over, but for whatever reason, they do not let you voice over. I half wish that I still worked at work, so I could find out where the farmhouse was, which they used to live in. That would have been so interesting to know. I mean, it obviously wasn't here, but I'm wondering, I was like really quite convinced that this would, belong to one of the churches, but it might not have done. There must be some history somewhere in Bingley on this. They're very fawned up. I've just ploughed my way through and unwalked raspberry zone, which I feel a little bit mean about if it wasn't for the fact they've actually cut into my leg and really hurt me. And so, do they call it survival of the fittest? If so, why? No, I won't say what I was going to say. How long have I got left on in time? Maybe 5 minutes. I'm sure I was saying something a little bit more constructive a bit further back. I can't remember what. Work. Yeah, it's true. I just don't have any time before that I've actually walked, and it just been for fun on my own. No, I'm sorry, I am being very untruthful. I just remembered the last time, before I turned age 9. I used to run down to the fields in my village, and that's where I'd play if I wasn't up with ponies at a family friend's house. Then I'd be down at the fields, and there was a pony that used to get tethered down there. He was called Bobby. And yeah, I used to just like pretend he was my pony, pretend I could like actually ride better than what I could at the time, which bear in mind I'm like beneath 9 years old. And no, I wasn't a kid born with a silver spoon in her mouth who had ponies bought for her by mummy and daddy. That wouldn't have worked with me at all. Not when you've got like a reverse psychology person. Sorry. I'm gonna start ranting, so I stopped myself. Well, actually, I thought there was someone behind me, that's why. No, you can't do that. Not when you've got somebody whose psychology you want to reverse. And that then means that if you want to reverse someone's psychology for your favour in life, you have to push them the opposite way that you really want them to go. So when I was 7 years old and I decided that all I wanted to do was ride, that was because I'd had it drummed into me from birth onwards that there's no money in horses. And I always knew one thing in life, and that was that money does not make you happy. And so this is so trippy what I can see ahead of me, but I said it out loud, didn't I? So now it's not like so clear. Massive pyramid right in front of where I was walking. Let me just see how much time. No, try and stay on point. Yeah, when they want to reverse your psychology so that when you grow up, or by the time I was age 7, my psychology was already reversed. Now, people think, oh, 7, that's so young, how can you say that? And no. Well, because I don't ever remember a time where it wasn't. And when all you've got is, and I don't mean it's like, oh, woe is me type way. I just mean it from the point of view that when you're a kid, you learn what you're taught. It's not like you have a choice in the matter, is it? And then, say if you're a kid, perhaps with drug addicted parents, you're going to potentially go the opposite way when you get older. I mean, I've just put a really random example in there because that wasn't my life. But, you know, a lot of kids who have been brought up in that scenario go the opposite way, but not all of them. Some of them will go the same way. It depends on the psychology. When you're brought up in a family that... oh, God, from the background mine was. And then, how are we for time? Got about 4 minutes left. We're beneath the rocks again now, where we started. Pretty much, almost. I'm not going to go a really steep way this time, though. I think I did well to get it the first time. I think it's better to go the long way around. So, I'm going to do that. Because look, it's a bit of a steep drop. Look at the clouds. Oh, I can't not zoom into those. Yeah, sorry, I was just looking at the hill and I thought I actually probably would break my neck if I went down there right now. Especially being so unfit and all that. Yeah. The awful tragedy, of course, being that kids don't know that this is chem clouds, and neither do most adults, and then they film it, or they take photographs, or they talk about this wonderful sky. And just doing that is putting your energy into the creation of the awful sky. I know that probably sounds a little bit, maybe a little bit blasé or generalistic, but you know, our thoughts do manifest into creation. There's not really any avoiding that. Like if you grow up really hating yourself, you're going to either have a massive self-sabotage button, so nothing that great will ever happen, or you're going to project hate out to everyone in the world, because it's just how it is, you know. Your deepest unconscious is going to condition your conscious. So if in your conscious mind you can't come out of denial and be aware of your true within, as opposed to the without within that you try to be to compensate for the trueness within, which is really complicated because it means you're not really knowing you're doing it, because it's in your unconscious that's ruling your conscious. And so it's not quite as simple. I would say that people get a very good indicator by who they're attracted to. After all, we mirror out not only who we are, but we look like magnets. Opposites attract. That's because we're yearning for something that someone else cannot offer us. But if you've been extremely deprived of something and you don't even consciously know that's what you're really looking for, sorry, I have to check the time, then you can end up being a really loving person who ends up with an absolute complete nut job. And then it's a real mess, because the complete nut job, say for example a psychopath, sociopath, both not very narcissistic personality types, they will want what you've got and try and take it from you. But then we can't ignore the fact that if you are just really loving and empathic, you do need to have some harder qualities in life too, because we're living in a very hard world. It doesn't have to be your core, but you do need coping mechanisms. And if you're like a people pleaser, yes person, which sounds really bad, I'd have fought tooth and nail against the idea that I was a people pleaser, when actually it's people pleasing to want the best of people, even when they don't necessarily warrant it. It's people pleasing to try and help people all the time at your own detriment. It's not the insult it quite sounds like when you first say, like, a yes person. It's not like that, really. That's a false perception of what a people pleaser really is. So because these opposites attract, it's because they want something from one another. And it's very easy to like be very negative to the person who's like doing the really bad stuff to you. Because you kind of need to know how to be a little bit more able to say no. And they want to know how to be more loving. It's just, it doesn't always work. There can be people that do really bad stuff to you who never learn how to be really loving in return. And then it's like a slap in the face, because you both walk away damaged and neither one of you is really like, it takes a long time to heal from that. I'm out of time, I'll have to carry on, but I'll have to free some space up. I might do it from home. Bye. Oh, we've got 20 seconds left, so I'll film where I'm going. And I'll wrap this up from home, or I'll try to. If I don't, it'll have to be a part 2, which will come in a separate segment. It's hard to just get your flow back, but we'll try. I just knew where those buildings were, which I really wanted to get on film though, seeing as the sound wasn't working first time around. But we'll see. We won't get there in time. We've got 10 seconds left. It's a 10-second countdown. Ta-da! Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, we've got quite a long time. So here it is, the building site below my house. You can't see it all from here, but I'll show you something else quite interesting. Well, I think it's quite interesting anyhow. And that is, the sky's awful now because the sun's gone down. Hey up. What was that? Making that noise. Looks like someone's down there. Anyhow, the housing here for sale. I don't blame them. If I lived here, I'd have been put up for sale, the house, not me, long before they actually started building, because the planning permission must have gone through ages before. These things don't just happen overnight, do they? Anyway, what we'll just do is see if any more houses down here have put themselves up for sale as well, or their owners, sorry, put them up for sale as well. And if, because I didn't notice on the way up if the others had as well. And then I'll stop filming because it's getting too dark. I mean, you can see why, can't you? They thought they'd be only, they thought they'd be the king of the castle. And, well, no, I don't think it's funny at all that they're going to build, that they are building here. I think it's anything but funny. I think it should be woods, not housing. But it's a little bit late now, isn't it? Seeing as it's all going to happen, is happening. Right. So no, these houses aren't up for sale as well. Just those ones up there. Look at the lights, look, oh wow, yeah, they look nice. Even though I'm not like keen on modern housing, can't deny that the lights look nice. Anyway, we're going to end on that note. I probably will do something on, I might do something on the laptop as well about this, because I know I've been a little bit vague, because I didn't want to say too much on camera, which sounds silly, because I say a lot on camera, but I don't say it about specific people very often, because I find it kind of pointless. We're living in spiritual warfare. You know, some people are perps, and some people aren't. And there's a lot of complications behind it all. And so, simplifying as I am, Yeah, this house is for sale as well, just down here. But we are going to be out of time, so I'll show you what I can see and we'll sign out. Do a little circle around me. And that's where I just came from. And there's the crane, which I wake up to every morning. It's funny because, well, I actually can't stand modern houses, but I do feel sorry for these. Although, the last time a crane would have been up here like that would have been when these were getting built. So it's ironic, isn't it, that they're now selling up because houses are being built right next to them. After all, these houses would have like really bugged the people in the original houses when these went up. So maybe that's what they do to like shift the population on or something. I've no idea. Anyhow, we'll end here from me, and I hope you enjoyed. And that's how it's going to be now. No little dog running after me, unless I get a dog of my own, which I might do. I was thinking about it earlier before I came out. I thought it depends how it is walking without anyone by me. It's nice and it's kind of very odd at the same time. Anyhow, it is what it is. Bye for now. Bye. Alright, well I just thought I'd quickly get the crane in from a lower angle. You can see the old houses down here, and that one's actually up for sale too. So that's why I was interested as to why the crane was there, because it's so close to the road where they're starting building. Anyhow, I think we're out of time again, so...